Geloff takes off. The swing is a good one. Hit well out to right center field. And this is going to get down off the wall. Christian Hlinka has walked it off here at the dish. Back-to-back walk-off games for the Cardiac Cavaliers.
All right, so we got Christian Hlinka here, member of 2021 College World Series team with Virginia. Christian, thanks for jumping on with us, man.
Yeah, Casey, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
So you're still in Charlottesville. What are you currently doing? Where are you headed?
Yep. I hung around for another year. Just couldn't leave quite yet, and I wanted to cheer these guys on as much as I could. This new team, it's been hell of a lot of fun to watch them this year. I mean, that offense is ridiculous, and seeing Jake and Tap and Chris and some of these other guys, put up these big numbers has been super fun to see. But yeah, so I'm getting my master's in commerce here, and which is basically just like a business management program. And I'm about to finish that up. I'll head home for a little bit and then start in the real world in August. So it's a big jump.
That's exciting. So talking about this year's team compared to last year's team, this year's team started out super hot and then kind of like came down to earth, and now they're trying to get in the upward trajectory again. Whereas last year's team started off a little slow and then really hit the ground running midway. What changed last year? It was like around the Georgia Tech series. I feel like things started to shift a little bit. But what was the mood like, and what were the differences?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it all the time because there was, after that Georgia Tech series, or actually I think after the first game, because I think we dropped the first game of that series, and back in the hotel, Oak like sat us all down and got into us a little bit. I won't go into any specifics about that, but he flipped the switch in us, I think, kind of turn it all around, and we just looked at it and we're like, what do we have to lose? Let's just go out there, have a good time playing, go out and play hard, leave it all on the line. I mean, if we come up short, but we played as hard as we could, then there's nothing we can do about it, but we were just like, listen, I mean, we're at the bottom of it all. Like, I don't think we can really get any lower than this. So we were just like, all right, no pressure, nothing to worry about. Go out there, have a good time. And guess the rest is history. Ended up working out for the best.
So preseason, were the expectations really high, and then there was a little bit of disappointment around midway, or is that
it was like an interesting dynamic because the coaches constantly throughout all preseason were telling us, like, don't look at the polls, like don't listen to any of this stuff. It's a brand new season, because we came off the COVID year, or the beginning of the COVID year, we were hot. I mean, we were pushing numbers similar to this team, this year's team. I mean, we had 30 home runs in, whatever. We played one ACC series. We had, I think there were like, I think it was like me, Jimmy, Geloff, and it might have been Chris. I mean, we had like 4 guys with 5 bombs, in 16 games or something like that. So, the numbers were flying, and everybody was like playing super well. So obviously the expectations were super high. I mean, we had the entire team returning for the following year and adding some good young guys. So, it was all there, and we're like, oh, we're making a run this year. And then to kind of have it, fall flat on its face early on was, definitely a challenge, a struggle. But I mean, to fail, or it's really important to fail to be able to learn and grow from that, and I mean, people talk about it all the time, but it is true. Like, so, we were kind of on our high horse, even though, we were trying to tell ourselves, hey, don't look at this, don't look at the polls, don't look at everything that's being set up too much. Take it day by day and take care of what we need to do. So obviously that got away from us a little bit, but, we ended up being able to turn it around, and that Omaha run was awesome, and it was so much fun.
Yeah, you guys definitely did turn it around. What do you remember from the Omaha run? I mean, it was the South Carolina portion was really exciting as well. And then into Omaha, what do you remember from those times?
Yeah, I mean, that was a once in a lifetime experience. I was actually talking to Mr. Michaels, Logan's dad, I think last week at the Virginia Tech series. And he was saying how, like, he's like, it is even more rare to go to Omaha than like to get drafted. I mean, you see all these kids like getting drafted and stuff like that, and trying to make it to the bigs, but like, how many of them actually get to go to Omaha and play, right? I mean, you end up with 8 teams every year there. I mean, it's an unbelievable experience and super special. So, I mean, it's something I'll never forget. Absolutely. But yeah, that Columbia regional run was really fun. I mean, I wish that COVID wasn't a thing, because I think we would have ended up hosting the Super.
I agree.
It was something similar to the 2015, right? Like where like the 3-4 teams knocked off the 1-2, and then we came back and played, Maryland at UVA. I think if COVID wasn't a thing, we were coming home and playing Dallas Baptist here in Charlottesville, which would have been, an unbelievable atmosphere. But the Virginia faithful traveled really well down to Columbia, and the experience was awesome. My roommate Devin, hitting that walk-off home run was, unbelievable. So that was really cool. I'm not gonna lie to you, we were really ready to leave Columbia when by the time we were gone. I mean, nobody liked that. Nobody liked that place. Definitely could not see myself being down there for school for sure. But being there 2 weeks, I mean, it was a lot of fun. We were
Did
there
you
with
stay or did you go back and
so
forth?
we were there for 2 weeks straight.
Damn.
Yeah, so I mean that ended up becoming our like home field because I mean we were the home team, so like we were there for two. We won the regional, and there was a down week because it's the regional ends on the weekend, and then we pick up next weekend with the super. So we stayed through the entire week. We actually I think one of our ops guys ended up like driving home to get like stuff that guys needed, because we weren't expecting to be there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So like nobody.
All right. So you need your shoes. And
yeah, guys need contact. I mean, stuff like that. Like contacts, like change of underwear or whatever. Like it was like that sort of thing. So like they had to run home and grab some extra stuff actually and bring it back down the next day. But yeah, I mean, it was honestly super fun. Like I mean, even though we didn't like the area, it was really cool just to be around there with the guys. I mean, like I said, it became our home field, so we ended up like taking over South Carolina's field. I mean, we'd go over there and like lift and hit when we wanted to. I mean, they were super awesome about it. I mean, the South Carolina program, really really cool, and they made the experience awesome. But yeah, it was really really cool for sure.
So then I remember you guys also had like a day where you went to one of the alumni's house or something like that.
Yeah. We did do that. I forgot about that. That was actually a lot of fun. I mean, really nice family. It was such an awesome experience, and they had a pretty sick house too, on a nice golf course. And we were just chilling by the pool. I mean, cornhole, basketball. I mean, everything that you could think of. Some guys were out there fishing. So it was like really cool, just kind of like get away a little bit, a little bit of an escape. And see, the thing is like, and I was talking to my roommates about this actually the other week. The biggest thing that I was missing, like in college baseball, I think, compared to like playing club ball or being on the road with like those guys when I was younger, was like you would go to those perfect game tournaments, right, for like a week or whatever, and you would like be there with the fan. Like what we would always do, instead of getting a hotel for a week, we'd always go with like a couple of families and teammates I was really close with, and we'd like get an Airbnb. And so we get like this big house. We all be like chilling there for like a week, basically a vacation together and playing baseball. Yeah. Awesome experience. And that's what I was saying I missed at in college, like especially because like my first couple of years we didn't win, and we missed the tournament entirely, which was obviously incredibly frustrating and disappointing. But being able to like see that my senior year, or my fourth year last year, and like just being with the guys like as a team, not in Charlotte, not like solely focused on baseball, so to speak, more like being able to do like that family stuff, like the barbecue, like going to the house, like we're hanging out together, in the hotel room when we're in South Carolina, like the camaraderie and how much closer we got as a team between like the players and even like the coaches and their families were down there and stuff. I mean, same thing with Omaha, like that, brought the relationships to the next level. And it was, super fun to be a part of and super cool to experience.
Yeah. Summer ball and like those sorts of like big tournaments were always more fun to me than like playing, regular season high school games, or I played in junior college, or like the spring break trip with junior college was really fun.
Yeah.
But when you get to go away and kind of, hang out with the guys for that weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, they're playing in nice stadiums and shit,
100%. And like, that's the cool thing about Omaha too, is like all the coaches' families were out there with us. And what they do is they just get like in the hotel we're in, they just get like almost the entire, like an entire floor, like entire level is like all like base, UVA people, whether it's like, parents, fans, but like all the coaches' families are there. So like their rooms are like, 20 doors down from like where all the players are. So like we're passing them constantly, in the hallway, or seeing them in the lobby, or getting food, whatever it is, and that's what I'm saying. Like that's where like that's the experience.
Changes
like,
the dynamic probably a little bit,
100%. That's I mean, I got so much. I mean, playing with Justin Armistead's kids, for example, and like or like Coach Matt, like Seymour's, I mean, like all the like just being able to see like they're the young kids in the hallway, like messing around with them. They love to interact and see us. So I mean, it was a super cool experience.
Yeah, it was awesome for the fans too. I mean, to like pick it up and kind of ride that wave. It was really fun, man.
Well, I got let me just pull this out for you real quick here. Figured out I had it sitting right here next to me, so
oh shit.
Figured out bring it out and give it a little.
That is sweet, man. When did you guys get those this year?
We got yes, I think we got them in the fall, either the fall or like early preseason.
Did you ever wear it?
Yeah, I've worn it a couple of times. They're pretty cool. Yeah, they got them decked out. We got our like names and numbers on this side. And then we got like ACC.
Yeah,
The Cavaliers on there, and then the front parts, pretty cool. So yeah, I've worn it. I'll wear it like, how like the pro guys do it or whatever, where it's like, like a big event or something like that. Like you'll wear it. So you only bring it out like on like, if you're dressed up nice or whatever it might be. So I've flashed it a couple of times, mainly just showing people and stuff.
Yeah, and you got the College World Series logo out on the outfield wall. That's there forever,
Yep, that's exactly right. Yep, College World Series on that 2021, and then and it was awesome getting that 2021 back up on the tournament thing on the back of the scoreboard too. That tournament list, because we missed it for a couple of years. So
yeah. So backing it up a little bit, I won't keep it too much longer. How did you choose UVA to begin with?
Yeah, I mean it's a great question. It's crazy. So Coach Max saw me my sophomore year of high school. It was just at the end of the high school season, beginning summer ball. Up in New Jersey, they do this like big underclassmen games tournament, or actually just one game. It's like an all-star game for like the top like 100 high school players in New Jersey. They have it at Diamond Nation. So that was the first time I think Coach Max saw me, and so I had some really good BP rounds and had some really good at bats against some top notch arms. I know one of the kids was committed to Duke, so I'm sure he'd like to see that matchup like within future ACC matchup.
Yeah.
And then he followed me for 2 weeks afterwards, going into like summer ball, and kind of just like following along with our team for a little bit. And so I was down there on a visit. I was actually supposed to visit. I had a really good first like weekend or two of summer ball, so I was supposed to visit I think like 3 or 4 AC schools within like a 2-week span. Right, I think UVA was the first one, and then I was gonna hit maybe I think I was gonna like go up to like Pitt and BC, and then head down to North Carolina. But I went to UVA and like checked it out. And I was like, honestly, I didn't really want to go like to any of these other places either. Like I don't really want to travel around and spend all that time doing that. I mean, just me sounding lazy. But so saw UVA and loved it. I mean, a big thing for me when I was going through the whole recruiting process was to find a school that had or used baseball to get into a really good academic school and save money. I mean, that's always been an important thing to me.
That's good.
So I mean, UVA had the best of everything. The best of both worlds. I mean, the other school that I was like, I liked a lot was Princeton. A little bit closer to home, but the problem with the Ivy Leagues is that they're a senior year commitment in high school because they need 4 years of your high school transcript. So I was like, this is my sophomore year. I can't pass up on these opportunities where these ACC schools are coming in, interested in me after this weekend. So UVA was the best of both. I mean, what they call the Ivy League of the South. Yes, some people call it. So the best of both. I mean, top notch Power 5 baseball program on top of academics that rival those Northeastern Ivies. So ended up loving it. I mean, love the coaches, like family, Coach Max, like the second dad to me. And I mean, everything ended up fitting and falling into place. And, I've loved it. I couldn't leave. I needed a 5th year here to hang out.
So it's basically first school you visited, commit.
So actually, no, it wasn't the first school. It was the first school that year. Sorry, I was like a little confused about that. The first school that ever recruited me, I visited was Wake Forest. That was my freshman year of high school.
Oh, cool.
I had a good perfect game tournament down in Georgia, and Wake saw me. Their stadium. I don't know if you've ever been down there, but they have a 300-foot launching pad in right field, so they love lefty hitters.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So they liked what they saw a lot, and I was down on the visit there freshman year, and I mean, I love. Honestly, what I say is if it wasn't the first school that I saw, it would have been an extremely difficult decision to make because when Wake Forest is beautiful, the fit was really well in terms of baseball, like, being a big, like, power guy lefty at that field. I mean, the academics there are very, very competitive as well. But as the first school, I was like, I'm a 15-year-old kid walking around a college campus, like how do I know what I want?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, right. And so I tried to like kind of, keep it along with them, like going into sophomore year, and I guess interest from them fell off a little bit. And then there were a lot of local schools that were interested, like St. John's, Seton Hall, Lehigh.
Rutgers?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I don't know if Rutgers ever really their program's kind of they were interested in my teammates for summer ball. But it was like a lot of like kind of like those local areas. And then like I said, that summer, a lot of like the big like the bigger, like a lot more ACC schools and some SEC, they started to become interested, and that's kind of like really where it picked up. But I mean, looking at UVA, like, I like kind of sat back and looked at all the other schools. I'm like, what can rival that? What is better than this? I mean, great. I mean, UNC might, be similar in terms of like academics and, campus and everything like that. But I was like, I mean, this is it, UVA. I love Virginia. I mean, it's Yeah, it's awesome. So
You made the right choice for sure.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
I had a buddy, one of my college teammates went and played at St. Peter's in New
Oh, really?
Jersey.
My dad played at St. Peter's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's my dad's alma mater. Yep. So we were watching when they were making the run to the.
I got back in touch with him. I hadn't talked to him in like almost a decade.
Yeah, right.
Like,
And,
yo,
and they're
bro.
making that run in the Final Four or whatever, to the Elite Eight. I'm like, dang, it's crazy.
I know. I reconnected with him. I'm like, hey man, this run made me think of you. Like, what's up? How you been?
Yep.
And
Yep. Yeah. No, my dad jokes about how they played in like a rec center park, like for when they didn't have, like, that's what their home field. They just had like a park or a baseball field in a park, and that's what they were playing on.
dude, my first year in JUCO, we didn't have a home field at all. They were building it. So
That's
every
crazy.
game we played that year was on the road.
Oh my gosh, on the road. Oh
Yeah, every game was on the road.
can't imagine traveling that much.
It was the worst. It was the worst.
Oof.
But it's fun,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
All right, Christian, man, I appreciate you jumping on, and we'll definitely do something again. Virginia plays tonight, I know, and then they got a couple, home series, and then a series in Louisville to end the year.
Yeah, absolutely. No, Casey, thank you so much for having me on. I look forward to being able to chat a little bit more, and hopefully I'll run into you at a few of these. Maybe either tonight or the Clemson series.
Bro.
Awesome.
Thanks, man. Have a good day.
Yep. You too.